What is going on, fellas? This is my Premier League prediction video for the season coming up, starting today actually. So I'm a little bit late to the party, but this is the definitive, 100% guaranteed league table. This is how it's going to end at the end of the season. This is where everyone is going to be, and there's going to be some teams I think a lot of people are probably going to disagree with. So if you do disagree with me, leave a comment down below. Tell me why I'm wrong. I'm not wrong, but tell me why you think I'm wrong. The last time I did a prediction video, the Turkish community came after me because I said Turkey were going to finish bottom of the group at the Euros. And they did. They were terrible. So I am a genius. So we're going to get into the first team. Right, so 20th place is Aston Villa. They're going to finish bottom of the league. There is nothing in their transfers that I can see where they're going to be any better than anyone else. Diego Carlos looks probably the best player they've signed, but they've also signed Philip Coutinho. I don't think their signings have really... It's Boubacar Kamara potentially could do something to help them, but they haven't really done a huge amount. They've not lost any big players, but at the same time, they've not really brought great players in. I think they're going to be a surprise team. They're going to spend a lot of the season saying, but we have a world-class manager. Your manager was a world-class player. I don't think Steven Gerrard is going to be the one to keep Villa up. He'll probably get sacked and end up leaving or they'll end up replacing him with some random German dude who nobody's ever heard of, who's actually really good. But Aston Villa, I'm sorry, you're getting relegated. Bottom of the league. It's going to be close, but you're getting relegated. So next in 19th place is Fulham. Going straight back down. Mitrovic is going to continue to be a really, really, really good championship striker. And that's it. He's never going to be top Premier League striker. They're going to get relegated. He'll score 4 goals, maybe 5, but he'll probably score them all in one game, doing any better than they normally do when they get back into the Premier League. I know they brought in Bernd Leno, Andreas Pereira. I'm a really big fan of Kevin Mbabu, but they're going down. They've just... I don't see it. Honestly, do not see it. Unless Mitrovic suddenly becomes a really, really good, top-class Premier League striker, they're going down. Again. So next up in 18th place, probably a controversial one, maybe not, I don't know. Are people expecting Leeds to finish 18th? Because I sure am. Yeah, definitely. They're going to go down. They've made pretty decent additions. I think they're not going to have an awful lot of anything. They're not staying up. I'm surprised they survived last season. This year, they don't have it about them. Losing Rafinha and Calvin Phillips was pretty bad. Probably final day of the season, maybe on goal difference, will go down. And we won't see him again for another 15 years in the Premier League, probably. Unfortunate, but so it's happening. So in 17th place and just surviving relegation, as I said, probably on goal difference on the final day, is going to be Everton. I really don't see anything that they've done in the transfer window that's going to help them. They struggled last year and haven't really added to the team. Ruben Vinagre, a Wolves flop, comes in on loan. Tarkowski, okay, a relegated centre-back. Dwight McNeil, a relegated winger. Who, to be fair, Dwight McNeil is pretty good. But also Calvert-Lewin has just picked up another injury. So the one thing they needed was for him to stay fit, and he's already picked up a knock before the season's even started. Unless Everton make a bunch of signings right up at the end of the transfer window, like on deadline day, I can't see them staying up. So Everton will just about survive, but I could see them going down. So 16th, I'm putting Brentford. I did originally have them in the relegation zone, but I think they'll survive. I'm not 100% sure what gives me that. But it's just a feeling, I can feel it. It's inside me. Aaron Hickey is a fantastic signing. I think he'll do amazing things potentially. Kane Lewis Potter, a lot of money for a guy who plays for Hull. So, but they also signed Ben Mee, who, if he can stay fit, is probably good enough to keep them in the league. And Thomas Strakosha, if he does actually get to play games, I think he could do really well. He'd be like a surprise signing, and he might, if he gets to play, as I said, if he gets to play, he'll be fantastic. But I think Brentford will not comfortably survive, but they will survive. 16th place. So 15th place is going to be Nottingham Forest. I think they've done quite good business with Dean Henderson coming in. Omar Richards has the ability to be a fantastic player. They've overpaid for some players though, in just cash terms, like Neco Williams. 17 million is a lot of money for a guy who was never really played football. Had that one season where he was a first choice because every other defender in Liverpool was injured, and they're spending 200,000 a week on Jesse Lingard. That's insane money. I think purely because Jesse Lingard is just costing so much, they're not going. I would have put them higher. If it wasn't for Jesse Lingard, I think he's just going to stink the place up. He's just going to be. He's not really playing for anything. He's on a 1-year deal. He's making his money. He'd probably just leave at the end of the year and hope that somewhere in Saudi Arabia or some American club comes along and takes him. But other than Jesse Lingard, I think the Forest signings have been pretty good. Awaniyini from Union Berlin looks like an absolute animal. Orel Mangala, again, looks very good. I think that they have enough about them. They're going to survive. It's going to be Dean Henderson. If Dean Henderson gets injured, they're in trouble. So in 14th place, I have Bournemouth, and this one I'm not so sure of. My head tells me they're going to be good because it's Bournemouth. Every time they've been in the Premier League, they've done really well, apart from that one time that they didn't. But yeah, there's not a huge amount to talk about. I think it's just going to be a well-oiled team, know each other, going to play well. They'll survive purely because they're just better than other teams, which that's good enough for the majority of clubs. If Wigan made it into the Premier League and survived purely because we just knew how we played, I'd be more than happy. It doesn't have to be fantastic football. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just has to get the job done. Which, for this year, I think it will. Bournemouth will. In 13th place, I have Leicester. I probably would have put them higher. And then they sold Kasper Schmeichel, and I've not seen anything be done in the transfer window for them. So I'm guessing they're going to do something at some point. Surely they're going to sign somebody at some point. They have to. Like, they can't just sell their number one goalkeeper and then just be like, it's fine. But I think a solid 13th place, just lower mid-table, it'll do. Right, so in 12th, I am putting West Ham. They've spent big money on things they needed, like striker. I don't think Skamaka is the one that they needed to buy. I do think the fact they've signed Areola is a bit confusing. I know he played a lot of the was it the Europa League games he played a lot of, but he didn't play a single Premier League game. And they paid 10 million for him. I don't really understand the logic. I know Flappy Hansky is getting older now. Would they be disappointed not getting Europe? I don't know. I think David Moyes is going to get found out this year that he's not actually that good, which I think we all know. But at the same time, he's okay. He's a weird manager. But yeah, West Ham 12th. So 11th place, we are putting Brighton, and this is purely 100% just I chucked them in. It felt right. It felt like the right place to put them. Not quite top 10. It felt like a good idea. But I think Graham Potter is going to do enough to keep them there. If not, then I'll have egg on my face and you can all laugh at me. And in the comments, you can slag me off next year. But I'm saying it. 11th. Right, so now we're breaking into the top 10. And to start us off, it's going to be Southampton. I think they have done really quite well in the transfer market. They've done some really, really good business. Gavin Bazunu, as an Irishman, 100%. I am happy with this. 15 million quid, bargain. The guy is an absolute beast. So he's in my fantasy team, without a doubt. Bazunu is going to be an absolute monster in goal for Southampton. We'll actually have a starting Premier League goalkeeper playing for Ireland, which is fantastic. Armel Belakachuk is an absolute beast of a centre back, or he is in FM anyway. So why not in real life? 9.5 million for Bosham. That is pretty decent business. And Romeo Lavia could be an exceptional holding midfielder. We have to wait and see. He didn't really get a chance at Man City. Joe Aribo, not sure. I think 10 million is a lot of money for him. But at the same time, I think Southampton are going to be good money for 10th place. They're not going to be exceptional. They're just going to be there. But 10th place, I feel it. So in 9th place, I am putting Crystal Palace. I think they're going to be pretty good. They've built on what they've done last year. Not really lost any main. Bringing in Sam Johnstone, handy backup goalkeeper for Guiada. Chris Richards could be a good player. We'll have to wait and see. And check Doucouré, 21 million. See how he gets on. But I think Palace just going to be a handy, just above mid, like lower top half, 9th place. I think that's a fairly good position for them. At least they're not going to be in a relegation scrap. That's, it's good. Patrick Vieira is going to keep them there. So 8th place is going to be Wolves. I think they're going to be in a good place. I don't think there's anything that they're going to have to worry about. I think Hwang Hee-chan has shown that he's a decent striker, decent player. Nathan Collins is obviously going to smash it, and he's going to be the best centre back in the league by a mile because he's fantastic. I as an Irishman, I'm a little bit biased, I guess. So I think Wolves will be happy enough just finish 8th. So 7th place is going to be Manchester United. I think Ten Hag is going to do decently well with them, but at the same time, I don't see them doing any better than 7th. Or is it just me? I don't think Lisandro Martinez is going to walk in and fix their defensive problems. They've not really done too much else. I know Christian Eriksen coming in is going to be great. We'll have to see how he gets on. I'd love if he did well. Malacia from Feyenoord, again, like you're bringing 2 players in from the Eredivisie, where it's been proven, like it doesn't necessarily mean if you're good in the Eredivisie that you're going to be good in the Premier League. And they've signed 2 defenders from there. 7th place, Europa Conference League spot. Probably win the Europa Conference League next year then. That wouldn't be too bad. Although it is Manchester United and they expect to win the league. So in 6th place, I am putting Newcastle. I think Newcastle have enough about them. The signings they've made are perfect. Just Matt Target was fantastic last year for them. Nick Pope is an absolute worldly goalkeeper. I think he'll be able to keep goal really quite well. Sven Botman is a very, very, very capable centre-back. There's nothing wrong with any of those signings. It is exactly what they needed. They could do with another striker who can score goals. And I've heard they're chasing, was it Nicolas Pepe from Arsenal? I'm not sure that would be a great idea. But I can't see the signing. I can see them moving up and finishing in the top 6. I think it'll be a fight for like 5th to maybe 8th. It'll be a fight between those teams, but I don't think they're going to get a Champions League spot this year unless they do some exceptional signings. But as it is right now, 6th place, I think that Newcastle fans will be pretty happy with that. So the team I have just missing out on Champions League is Spurs. I think they've done quite well in the transfer market. They've made some questionable signings. Clement Lenglet, not sure that's a great signing, depending on how much he plays. But they signed Ivan Perisic, who is just a workhorse. He'll do fantastic for them. Fraser Forster, a handy backup goalkeeper. Yves Bissouma, if he plays well for them, will be fantastic. Richarlison, I can't see any reason why he doesn't just keep playing really, really well. 60 million is a lot of money for him, but at the same time, he is Brazilian. So you just, it's like with Jade Spence, you got to pay the tax. And then Jade Spence, 20 million for a right back who's only ever played in the Championship. Standard. Pretty standard. They've not really lost any big players. Son and Harry Kane, and they've got Richarlison to play up there now as well. And Perisic is able to do it. They have a lot of options. I think it's a decently rounded Spurs side, but they're not going to be able to finish in the top four. It won't be Champions League. So in fourth place and making it back to the Champions League, you probably won't be surprised when you haven't heard their name yet, but it's going to be Arsenal. Gabi Jesus, I think he's going to be a fantastic player to lead the line. He's going to get his first opportunity to be the man. He's going to do wonders. I think Fabio Vieira is a good player. Might take him a little bit of time to adjust to playing in England, to get kicked around a bit more than he's used to in Portugal. Like every week being a derby match. And then Zinchenko, a fantastic utility player, left back, centre midfield, could play up front, probably playing goal if you asked him to. The guy is very, very talented, and I think he has the potential to do bits for them. They've not really gotten rid of anyone where you kind of go, they're going to really miss this player. I'd love to see Matt Turner get an opportunity as well. He seems to be quite a good goalkeeper from what I've seen of him playing in Morocco. So Arsenal will be delighted. Simon, there you go, just for you, fourth place. So third place is going to be Chelsea. I don't know if I'm a big fan of their signings. Koulibaly, fantastic player. Surprised it took him so long to leave Napoli. Raheem Sterling. Am I the only one that thinks Raheem Sterling hasn't been that great for the last couple of years? I'm not so sure. And the fact they spent 20 million on Chuck Kearney from Aston Villa. He's not going to play games. He's probably going to be sat in the reserves for 3 or 4 years, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, do you remember that guy? We sent him out on loan to, was it Vitesse? Is Vitesse there? Yeah, I think it's Vitesse. They'll just send him out into Vitesse for 4 years, and he'll become some guy that nobody remembers. Like, was it John Swift or whatever his name was? But they have lost a lot of players as well. I think if they kept like Rudiger, and if Lukaku, I think they were a bit fast on getting rid of Lukaku. If it was me, I would have probably given him a little bit longer, but that's just my opinion. I think Lukaku is a fantastic player. There was so much excitement about him coming back to Chelsea last year. He's going to go to Inter Milan, he's going to smash it, and then they're going to be like, oh, we'll play him again. Next year, he'll struggle again because they're not going to change anything about the way they play for him, and then he'll go back to Everton in the Championship, maybe, when they get relegated. But yeah, I think Chelsea will finish third. So in second place, I am putting Man City. I think they're going to get second purely because I think Liverpool have done better in the transfer window. I think City have a pretty good chance. It will be tight. Like, they've Erling Haaland. That is all we need to say. But they've also signed £50 million worth of Calvin Phillips, who is going to just be left to rot, essentially. He's going to be just nobody in a couple of years. They do this every now and again. Like, Scott Sinclair signed and was left sitting in the reserves and sent out on loan to a bunch of clubs. Who's the guy who went to Sunderland after? What was his name? Super important, or was like really good player for Everton. I can't even remember his name, but he went to Man City, played a handful of games, and then ruined Sunderland's entire lives. All their fans hated him because he wouldn't leave when they went into League One. What is his name? I can't remember. That's how forgettable he is. I was talking about him the other day with someone. I can't remember now, but yeah, Calvin Phillips is going to be that guy. What the fuck is his name? I'll have to, when I'm editing this, I'll put his name on the screen. But you all know who I'm talking about. They've not really sold anyone that makes you kind of go, oh, they're going to struggle this year. I think Raheem Sterling, getting rid of him, not really a big deal. They have plenty of options. So Man City, unfortunately, will miss out. So as I said, Liverpool are going to win the league. It's going to be tight, maybe 2 points in it. Probably go down to the last day of the season. But I think Darwin Núñez is going to prove to people that he is actually really good at football. And it's not just a one season, like, oh, I was really good for 1 year and now I'm back to being a bang average player. I think Núñez and Fabio Carvalho are two fantastic signings. Carvalho could be a dark horse for signing of the season. Calvin Ramsey is, I think, going to give Klopp the opportunity to play Trent a little bit further forward, like in the central midfield, which is where Trent wants to play. We'll have to see how that goes. He's probably not going to be in the first team straight away. Probably will only play a handful of games in the first season, but he's definitely going to get there at some point and become a regular first team player, which, you know, everyone wants. I'd love to be able to play for Liverpool, but I'm far too old and not good enough at football. Also, they haven't really lost any. I suppose I say that Sadio Mane has gone. Minamino is a handy player to have in the back as a backup. He's gone to Monaco. I don't think they're going to miss the two of them as much as people are expecting. Yeah, I think Liverpool are good odds to win the league. I'm actually putting money on it myself. I don't know, would you make much money off it though? They're probably going to win the league. They're probably expected to win the league regardless. So that's the league table, 100% guaranteed. So get your bets on. This is exactly how it's going to end. So if you have enjoyed this episode and you disagree with anything I said, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below where you think I've gotten teams wrong, and let me know, or comment down below your table where you think everyone's going to finish. It's not going to be right unless it's the exact same as what I said, because this is 100% guaranteed. Thanks for watching, fellas, and I will catch you in the next one.